Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Delta Entertainment. I am your host, Liquid Kenobi. And before we get started, I would like you guys to please hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. And I promise you guys that I will make better content for you guys. All right, guys. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. Now, we are going to be talking about what has been going. We have two articles that is going to be discussing Ubisoft's situation, bro. And this is very bad. Very bad. This first article we're going to be talking about, and it's just too hilarious. So here we go. Ubisoft desperately tells players they can skip playing as Black Samurai Yasuke for any reason. Assassin's Creed Shadows, bro. Oh my god, these guys are so desperate, bro. Oh man. But it doesn't matter. The damage has been done. It's been done. You have a trailer out that was with Yasuke and the girl. You've had videos of when you play with your Yasuke, how things would go. You've had a Yasuke destroying Japanese monuments. You know, it's like, it's too late. The damage has been done. The damage has been done. Take the fall, man. So, I mean, it is just ridiculous. It's just crazy. It's just crazy what has been happening with entertainment, man. So, without further ado, let's get to this topic. Ubisoft appears to be making a last-ditch effort to salvage Assassin's Creed Shadows, now telling players that they can skip playing as Yasuke, the game's controversial Black Samurai protagonist, for any reason. This phrasing, used by creative director Jonathan Dumont in a recent interview with Screen Rant, has many interpreting it as Ubisoft quietly acknowledging the widespread dissatisfaction with Yasuke's inclusion and trying to placate frustrated fans. So, Yasuke was created by an author of a make-believe that he was the first first African American to play a samurai, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, there was this animated series of that and all but the problem is, bro, this author lied. This author faked it, saying that there was a black samurai during that time, and there wasn't. If you guys can show me proof of evidence of that, bro, I'll keep my mouth shut about it. But until then, the evidence does not lie. So, in an interview, Dumont assured players that they could focus on playing as either a protagonist in the game while ignoring the other without missing out on the core gameplay. I don't think you're missing out on things too much, Dumont said regarding skipping one of the game's primary protagonists. I think it's more on your preference to say, okay, I'll see how the game will adapt a little bit to the character if you choose one over the other. But it was his next line that raised eyebrows. If you prefer one character for any reason, you can play quite a bit of the game using one of them, he said. This seemingly innocuous phrase has drawn significant attention. Given the ongoing backlash surrounding Yasuke's inclusion, many see it as Ubisoft's veiled attempt to address the controversy without directly confronting it. For critics, it reads as Ubisoft's offer players an easy way to avoid playing as the character whose presence has sparked months of debate. Neo offers a classic Assassin's Creed experience focused on stealth, reminiscent of early franchise entries on the recent Assassin's Creed Mirage. Yasuke, on the other hand, embodies the more aggressive, action-heavy combat style seen in Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Dumont clarified that while both characters have their own quest lines, the bulk of the game can be played with either protagonist. This announcement comes amid a tidal wave of backlash Ubisoft has faced over Shadows, much of it centered on the inclusion of Yasuke as the main protagonist. Fans have long clamored for an Assassin's Creed set in feudal Japan, but many expected a traditional Japanese samurai or ninja lead. Ubisoft's decision to spotlight Yasuke, a historical figure with limited documented influence in Japan history, was seen as prioritizing modern ideological trends over historical authenticity. And it's exactly what it is. This is exactly what it is, man. Ubisoft has messed up big time, bro. The controversy surrounding Yasuke's inclusion isn't the only issue that has plagued Shadows. Ubisoft has faced repeated backlash over historical inaccuracies and culturally insensitive depictions. One major incident involved the depiction of the Ete Hirotsu Jinja Shrine, a real Shinto temple still active today. In Shadows, players can enter the shrine and destroy its interior, including smashing the altar. This led to the temple filing to a formal request for Ubisoft to remove it from the grave, calling the depiction offensive and disrespectful. Additionally, Ubisoft had to apologize for using the Sekigahara Rifle Corps banner without permission in official artwork, and the company faced intense criticism for a collector's statue featuring a destroyed Torii Gate, which closely resembled the iconic image of the Hiroshima Gate after the atomic bombing. Pure Arts, the collectible figure maker, removed the statue from sale after widespread backlash. The game's repeated delays haven't helped its image either. Originally scheduled for November last year, Shadows was published to February 2025, then it went to March, which is next month. A date that marks the 30th anniversary of the Tokyo subway sarin attack, Japan's deadliest modern domestic tragedy. The decision to release the game on such a significant and somber date was criticized as either ignorant or blatantly disrespectful. Ubisoft's defensive attitude toward criticism has further alienated fans when ex-user Nick Tech highlighted bugs in the game's graphics. The official Assassin's Creed announced account responded dismissively with note to self, make work in progress appear larger. This tone-deaf response highlighted the company's unwillingness to accept constructive feedback, a theme that has persisted throughout the game's troubled development. Now, with Dumont's assurance that players can bypass Yasuke for any reason, Ubisoft seems to be tactily acknowledging the backlash while hoping to mitigate further damage. For a game that Ubisoft claimed would showcase deep cultural respect and historical accuracy, the mounting controversies suggest otherwise. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a crucial release for Ubisoft, which has seen its market value plummet in recent years. With investors growing restless and fans becoming increasingly vocal about the game's missteps, the latest concession might be too little, too late. For many, Ubisoft's replaced cultural blunders and dismissive attitude have already done irreparable damage to the franchise's credibility. So yeah, man, sorry about that. They have suffered a lot. Ubisoft has put themselves in harm's way, man, and I wish to God that they did not go this route, bro. But since they did, now they are in deep bind, bro. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to be discussing this next article here. So here we go. Ubisoft sparks fears of financial collapse and leads investor deception as Assassin's Creed dev works hard to spin financial ruin as a positive. So, as you guys know, and not just in the fan base and everything that's going wrong with this game, it's the financials because they have spent a lot of money advertising this game and they have spent a lot of money trying to make the game perfect, despite its identity politics and all. This game is not going well, man. So let's see what they got to say. What this article has. So Ubisoft Quarter 3 FY25 earnings report. Ubisoft reports third quarter 2024 to 2025 sales confirms what many have feared. The company's financial troubles are only getting worse. However, there is notable caveat. What is being conveyed to investors in the earnings call does not fully align with the grim reality presented in the actual report. In fact, the way Ubisoft is framing its situation to investors feels misleading as bet at best and outright deceptive at worst. The brutal reality is, as outlined in the report, is that Ubisoft's net bookings have plummeted by 51.8% year by year over year in quarter three, with total net bookings for the first 9 months of FY225 falling 34.8% to just 944 million euros. Digital net bookings dropped 33.8%, while player recurring investment, a key metric for the live service games, fell 33.7%, indicating a significant decline in microtransactions, DLC purchases, and subscriptions. This means that Ubisoft is not only struggling to sell games, but is also failing to retain players and monetize its existing catalog. That's a major red flag for the company's long term sustainability. Beyond these sales declines, Ubisoft is also drowning in debt, with the total debt to for EBITDA ratio sitting at a disastrous 21.1. For context, a negative EBITDA means Ubisoft is losing money even before accounting for interest, taxes, and other expenses. A catastrophic indicator for financial health, the fact that this ratio has skyrocketed to its level suggests Ubisoft has little to no profitability and is taking a no more debt than it can ever hope to pay back. This aligns with our previous reports warning that the company is teetering on the edge of financial collapse. I mean, this company is going through a lot, bro. And like I said, dude, I wish they did not go this route. To make matters worse, Ubisoft's financial target for FY25 is merely break even rather than turn a profit. This shift in strategy signals a desperate attempt to stabilize the company rather than generate growth, a stark contrast to the bullish claims made it past year. Instead of showing confidence in its ability to recover, Ubisoft appears to be simply trying to survive. Adding to this bleak outlook, the report confirms that Ubisoft has been already closed for production studios and implemented targeted restructurings. At three more subsidiaries, the names of each of which remain undisclosed. We will be investigating and reporting on which studios are most likely affected, but the broader message have here is clear. Ubisoft is actively downsizing, shedding costs, and consolidating operations to stay afloat. Given these circumstances, any rational investor looking at Ubisoft's trajectory would likely conclude that the company is a ticking time bomb on a plane already in full nosedive straight into the crater of an active volcano. Ubisoft's conference call versus reality, misleading investors or just desperate. For some bizarre reason, Ubisoft's conference call painted an overwhelmingly positive picture of what is in reality a disastrous quarter three sales report. Of course, investors' call are known for their corporate jargon and strategic wording, designed to cushion bad news, but Ubisoft's approach appears to teeter on the edge of legal presentation. Some of the statements made violently contradicted their own financial disclosure to the point where they might be considered misleading to investors. A prime example is how Ubisoft framed Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, man, they have. Star Wars Outlaws suffered a massive hit, bro. A real massive hit. It was like, Yeah, guys, I've been awake since 5 in the morning, man, and I've done a lot. I'm doing a total of 14 articles, and I'm shrinking it down to 9 right now at the moment. I shrank it down to 9, and it's not been easy, bro. And as you can tell, I'm probably losing my voice already. Drinking water to try to. Uh, all right, let's continue on, bro. All right. In the conference call, Ubisoft executives claimed that Shadow's early previews were received positively, stating, "Early previews have been positive, praising its narrative and immersive experience, with both characters playing critical roles in the game's storyline, as well as the quality and complementary of the gameplay provided by the dual protagonist approach. However, in reality, early previews were met with skepticism and controversy, particularly regarding the historical accuracy, protagonist choices, and gameplay innovations of lack thereof. Ubisoft failed to acknowledge this mixed reception, instead falsely implying widespread enthusiasm. Similarly, they put an unjustified positive spin on the performance of Star Wars Outlaws, with CFO Frederick Dogiet stating, while the sales curve for Star Wars Outlaws improved throughout the holiday season, it wasn't enough to deliver on our expectations. The game will be a long-term seller." Yeah, man, the Outlaws game. I looked at the video gameplay, and it was terrible. The graphics was bad. Your character, the way they have her looking, she doesn't look like more. She looks more like a man than a female, and it's just they don't put that feminism in there, man. They don't put that beauty of an actress in that role, in that role. So it's bad, bro. This downplays a far harsher reality. Ubisoft internally projected Star Wars Outlaws to perform far better than it did. In earlier earnings calls, they acknowledged that the pre-orders were far below expectations, and its failure to meet internal targets was a significant factor in the company's declining revenue. Yet, in the latest call, they refrained this failure as part of their expectations, which is a clear contradiction. Of course, it's standard practice for companies to spin poor sales results, but Ubisoft goes beyond normal corporate damage control. They insist that their games were well received and immersive, yet conventionally ignore the fact that Star Wars Outlaws performed as so poorly that Ubisoft still refuses to release their official sales figures. If the game was truly as successful as Ubisoft implied, then where are the numbers? Yeah, man. I've seen the numbers of this game, how it dropped, how it was going this way, and then it went down. It was not good. So whatever Ubisoft is talking about, bro, they're wrong. But what's even more concerning is what they did not bring up: the company's severe debt crisis and its shocking negative EBITDA of 21 by 21.1. Ubisoft completely omitted on any discussion of its devastating financial indicator, which suggests that the company is losing money at a sustainable rate. A negative EBITDA ratio of the magnitude in an extreme red flag signaling. Ubisoft is operating at a massive loss, meaning even before accounting for taxes, interest, and other expenses, they are already deep in the red. Ubisoft's debt burden is growing faster than its earnings, putting it in a position where future refinancing will become more expensive or even impossible. Potential insolvency. If Ubisoft cannot turn this around, investors and creative may start treating them as a bankruptcy risk, making it even harder to secure funding. Telling you, man, they have went down, man. They are going down the drain. I loved games like Ghost Recon, the very early Ghost Recon games, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six games, and I loved Tom Clancy's Splinter Cells. They were one of the best games that came out there, bro. And now, what we have here right now, it looks like it's going to be a total disaster, bro. This debt crisis is so severe that investors directly called it out during the question say answer session. BNP Paribas exams Nicholas Langland bluntly asked about Ubisoft's ability to pay off its debt obligations, stating, "What's the level of gross cash can you expect at the end of the full year of 2025?" And you mentioned Euro 260 millions of debt reimbursement in calendar 25. Do you confirm, and can you tell us which debt instrument you plan to reimburse next year? Ubisoft danced around the question and dug it, only providing vague reassurances, saying they expect free cash flow to break even and that they are looking at refinancing opportunities. The fact that Ubisoft executives never mentioned their negative EBITDA or even brought up debt unless directly asked raises serious legal concerns. This leads to an important question. Was Ubisoft's conference call simply incompetence or was it malicious? Under EU market abuse regulation, which applies to publicly traded companies in France, Ubisoft is legally required to ensure that its public statements do not contain false, inaccurate, or misleading information. France's Auditory des Marques Financiers enforces these regulations, and failure to disclose material financial distress or deliberately misleading investors could be seen as market manipulation or a violation of corporate disclosure requirements under French law. Given that Ubisoft completely admitted its catastrophic debt situation and deliberately framed severe sales declining in a deceptively positive way, it raises the question of whether their statements could be considered fraudulent under US and Euro security laws. Of course, Ubisoft is a French company, meaning different legal standards apply, but under MAR and AMF regulations, admitting official financial distress from investors' communications while actively downplaying negative indicators could still raise serious legal red flags. At best, Ubisoft's conference call was a masterclass in a corporate spin. At worst, it could border on fraudulent misrepresentation, something that could further damage investors' confidence in a company that is already a ticking time bomb. Clinging to shadows, Ubisoft's blind optimism in the face of collapse. Ubisoft is digging itself deeper into a pit of desperation, seemingly unaware or willfully ignorant of the harsh financial reality it faces. Whether through blatant misrepresentation or sheer self-inflicted blindness, the company's statement regarding sales, revenue, and debt paid a fantasy that no rational investor could possibly defend. At this point, any investor following these developments must be wondering, is Ubisoft secretly preparing for a buyout or an asset sale while refusing to admit it? While the company regularly acknowledged exploring strategic options, they framed it in corporate jargon, with Ubisoft's board stating the board is running a formal and competitive process to examine various transformational, strategic, and capitalistic options. My nose is itching a little bit. Man, this article's long. This can essentially be translated and interpreted as we are desperately looking for someone to buy us out before our financial turmoil spreads beyond recovery. The fact that they are still clinging to the hope that Assassin's Creed Shadows will magically turn things around is almost comical. They expect this single game to not only offset their crushing debt obligations, but also meet their newly revised 2025 financial goal of merely breaking even, a complete 180-degree reversal from their previous optimistic outlook. Yet they spin this reversal as a positive, almost as investors should celebrate that Ubisoft's greatest ambition of 2025 is now survival rather than profitability. And they need to admit that they failed. To put this into perspective, imagine a restaurant that's been serving spoiled food for years, losing customers left and right. Instead of fixing the menu or cleaning the kitchen, the owner begs investors for more money, not to improve the business, but to buy fancier plates and dimmer lighting, hoping no one notices the stench. That's not an investment pitch. It's financial necromancy on a rotting corpse. Worse still, Ubisoft is placing all of its hopes on a game that has already been met with heavy criticism from both the gaming community and the historians. Assassin's Creed Shadows has faced backlash for historical inaccuracies, cultural missteps, and poor creative decisions. Yet Ubisoft seems convinced that this one title will be its savior. Investors, however, are not blind, deaf, or dumb, though Ubisoft's investors relations team seems to believe otherwise. Their deliberate omission of controversy and negative reception from investor communications is so recklessly ignorant that it makes the Rings of Power Season 3 look like a more promising investment. Oh my god. This game's going to fail. This will fail miserably, bro. Very bad. It'll make the money, but it will not make enough to get them back on track, bro. That I can tell. Ubisoft is betting everything on Assassin's Creed Shadows to put them out of financial abyss, but controversy and their own poor decision making continue to haunt the game. Every Shadows trailer has been met with more dislikes than likes. A clear sign of rejection from their core audience. Their misguided approach to historical authenticity is also fueling backlash as Ubisoft hired so-called historians who at best resemble the fan fiction writers rather than credible experts. Instead of respecting Japanese history, Ubisoft appears more focused on forcing an ideological reinterpretation, disregarding both market expectations and cultural authenticity. To me, Ubisoft earnings report signals that the company is not being managed by competence, but rather by delusion and deception. All that remains now is to wait for the inevitable launch of Shadows on March 20th, when the numbers finally reflect reality and their mounting debt obligations hit them like a tsunami. Ubisoft may finally wake up from its long-standing delusion, only to find itself forced into the very real possibility of insolvency. So yeah, man, Ubisoft has gone through a lot. Ubisoft has gone through a lot. So if they don't get their act together, bro, if they don't get their act together, they're done. And it's already too late because they had their chance to fix this game. They had their chance to fix the game, bro, but they didn't. They ignored the fans. So that's what they're going to get, bro. So if this game comes out, you guys let me know if you guys enjoyed the game or not, bro. If you guys didn't buy it, good for you guys. So that's going to be it for this article on these articles. So you guys let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? So please post a comment below and please share this video. I do appreciate that very much. And thank you all for watching this video and being part of the channel. Thank you all so much. And I will see you all until next time. Bye, everyone.